PixieBrix is the fastest way to embed intelligent automation into any web app, allowing you to unlock more human-in-the-loop workflows. Here are 3 examples with one of our integration partners, Automation Anywhere. Let's start with Automation Copilot. Because PixieBrix deploys as a browser extension, it can embed the Copilot in any web app pretty easily as an iframe. When I click a process, PixieBrix autofills a portion of the data locally in the browser, so the end user only has to fill out what's absolutely necessary and click Submit. If you want to get started with Copilot, PixieBrix is the fastest way. Now I'll show how PixieBrix can integrate directly with traditional RPA. In this use case, we'll fill out a time card from any web page so the user doesn't have to navigate to their time card app every time. As you can see, PixieBrix has a vast component library, and you can code up all the logic you need. So the user can seamlessly push data to the timecard app, or really you could hook this up for a range of fire and forget use cases. But it doesn't just work for pushing data. You can also fetch data. For this, we'll use API tasks to optimize for speed when the user is waiting. In this example, we'll fetch tracking info on a shipment. I can trigger it by highlighting an order number and clicking the text selection menu. And the API task fetches the data and returns it right in the flow of work. Now that we've shown how you can integrate and trigger workflows in a variety of ways, let's dive into the developer experience. Once you've opened the page editor, click the Add button. We're going to add the context menu, which will allow us to select text and take actions based on that. I'm going to update the name and the title just to make it a little bit cleaner to reference. And then I'm going to add the run with async mod variable brick. This is going to let us run a process and store the output in a variable, which I'm going to name here. Inside of this, we're going to add the API task brick, which is going to let us select an integration, specify a workplace, set the task, set run as user ID, await the result, give a timeout, and then pass the data via input arguments. I'm going to also add the parse JSON brick because this is going to let me take that output that is a string and be able to access each part of it as if it were JSON. Let's go ahead and run it to see how it works. I'll select the text, I'll click the button, and it's going to process that data, and I will see the data appear in this far right panel. We call it the data panel. This is where I can preview the output of different bricks and make sure to test as I'm going along. So I can see all of the data has appeared here. Next, I want to actually display that information in a sidebar. So I'm going to add the display temporary information brick. I'll rename the title to something more clear, and I'll update the refresh trigger so that it actually changes the content when the data is fetched. I'm going to now edit the title by clicking the header on the far right, and then edit the text in the middle. Do the same thing with the example text. Notice that I'm typing text but also using the @ symbol and wrapping text in these brackets here, which lets me have dynamic text values. So I can hard code the data, but then I can also dynamically inject the data from the response, allowing me to have a sidebar that shows the relevant information each time the job is run. Notice when I type the @ symbol, a popover appears showing me all of the different variables and data that I have access to. I can just click through and select one of those. When I'm done, I'm going to hit save, and then I'll close the page editor, and let's try it out. I'm going to select this text with the tracking number here, click my button, and I see the sidebar panel has returned with the relevant data about the order. If you'd like to learn more, book a demo, and we'll get in touch.